There's a subset of meditation known as mindful eating. This practice involves taking a small piece of food such as a grape and taking 5 to 10 minutes to fully experience it, examining it from every angle, noticing its texture, its smell, how the taste changes, how it makes you feel to eat it. The idea is to create an engaging experience by making you savor something that you wouldn't normally pay too much attention to. Shenmue is that grape.
Ooh.
If you haven't played Shenmue, here's what you need to know for now. You play as Ryo Hazuki, a young martial artist who swears vengeance after witnessing the murder of his father. No! Pretty standard stuff. The early game sees Ryo gathering information, quickly leading him to one of the major areas of the game, Dobuita. My first impression of the area was that it was small, like really small, especially for one of the main areas of an open world game. To put it into scale, this is the size of the map in comparison to GTA 3's, which came out around the same time. It also takes Ryo only a few minutes to traverse the entire length of the map. To gather the necessary information, this game forces you to explore every inch of its map, starting at the florist, then to the hot dog truck, then the Chinese restaurant, to the pat shop, to the barbers, to the other barbers, to the park, to the jazz bar, to the shady bar, to the chop shop, to the jacket shop, to the lunchbox shop, to a yakuza den, to the arcade, to the tattoo parlor, and then the Chinese shop, and then the tobacco shop. Only when you've done all this can you move on to the next area. This may sound boring, but the density of this map makes it anything but. The process of chasing down information took me more than a few in-game days, and over that time my perception of Dobuita entirely changed. What once seemed like a tiny area now felt overwhelmingly gigantic. Shenmue is one of the most interactive experiences I've come across. Every door can be knocked on, most items in a room can be individually examined, everybody has a name and a personality, shopkeepers lift their shutters and sweep the floors and then go home to their own individual house at night and hang out in the city on their days off. The part where you search for a tattoo parlor kind of blew my mind. It was located in one of the many rooms in an apartment building that I walked past tens of times without even noticing. The fact that with enough curiosity and exploration I could have stumbled upon this place like in a real city was crazy. Occasionally you'll have to wait for specific shops to open or for certain events to occur, which lets you explore the city even more. This allows you to dive into the optional stuff without feeling like you're taking away from the story, because in the contextual narrative of Shenmue, Ryo has some time on his hands and has decided to buy 29 gashapon toys. Another thing I found amazing was the amount of dialogue in this game. During each step of your search for information, you can ask anyone at all around you to get a specific response to what you're doing. When I play games, I usually like to at least try my best to experience everything noteworthy that the game has to offer, from optional non-critical dialogue to staring at background art assets. However, knowing that I could talk to so many people and get so many different responses, and that I could examine the minutest of details was somewhat relieving. It encouraged me to not categorically scan an area to make sure I didn't miss out on anything. It felt like the developers were clearly saying, hey, we don't want you to see everything, just play the game. Interestingly, the game also has an overarching time limit, kind of like in Majora's Mask. Although it's a rather generous 4 in-game months, the fact that it's even there enforces the idea that you can't categorically experience the extreme number of features in this game. In an oxymoronic way, the overwhelmingness of Shenmue is what I find so meditative about it. Although Dobuita seems like a rather small area at first, the game slowly reveals the gigantic amount of content hidden away in the buildings that are typically used purely as scenery, and characters that usually walk aimlessly with little to no dialogue. Much like taking 5 to 10 minutes to eat something as small as a grape, only through thoroughly exploring every corner of this deceptively small area do you realize how lively it is. My only complaint is why can't you play the tape player whilst walking? Come on, I just want to go for a stroll and listen to I Feel Tired song in Bosnog.